This is a story about a boy and his motorcycle and a broken bolt through the head of the motorcycle. It not only holds the engine in the frame, it also holds the crash bars, aftermarket crash bars, on too. Getting this motorcycle ready for a cross-country trip coming up, I noticed that there was a hole. Well, this is not one of those bolts you can overlook or maybe get something down the road. This is pretty important, so I decided to investigate and found out that this bolt is pretty notorious for stripping out because it's a steel bolt that goes into an aluminum head. And once you put the aftermarket bars on, it causes problems. I'm not really sure. Maybe it strips the threads out when you pull it out to put the crash bars on there. Not really sure, but the threads were cheese when I came to investigate the inside. After talking to several friends and several of my viewers, I decided to go back with the same thread pitch and diameter as the original, but using helical inserts, a stainless steel insert, to allow me to put the threads back into something that wasn't going to chew it up. And if you've never used helicoils before, this might be something that's really interesting. This is what you're looking at here. This is the insertion tool that inserts the newly cut threads in aluminum to allow you to put the stainless steel thread kit inside to allow the bolt to go back in. And this is basically the process, and this is what you're going to see here in the next few minutes, so stay tuned. So Helicoil is a brand name, as you can see. I bought this kit online because it was $20 cheaper getting it from Amazon than getting it from a store. But apparently they have a special kit, this little device here, for fine threaded helicoils and bolts. And I had to figure out how to use this thing and even wound up not using it the way I had predicted. But since I had never tapped a hole before, and this was pretty critical because the bolt hole goes into the head of my motorcycle, the engine, I called Luke because he's put in a few of these things before. All right, so I could not find anything to go down in here to turn this thing. Except, well, I found a that moves it, but barely. So I think it's pretty tight. So what I'm gonna do, squirt that down in there, drill it,
Yeah.
or just drill it.
Yeah, anything will hurt. Squirt a little D40 in there.
$31.64. Because that's what it calls for. I'm gonna recheck it again.
I don't have my reading glasses. Slow and steady.
It's just aluminum though. It feels a lot like cheese.
It's definitely not steady.
That's not steady?
That's not steady. It's definitely starting to snap.
It's just cheese though. I think that's the drill. I took a little bit out of there. You like that?
I'll do that.
Oh boy. All right, kid.
That's enough. That's enough.
Okay.
Screwing around.
All right. Now we're gonna squirt some more in there. We're gonna,
No.
or should we blow it out?
Yeah, you should blow it out first.
You like that? Here, we're gonna blow it out in a second again. So leave it like that. Ah, smells like WD-40.
Dirty.
Smells just like WD-40. All right, so you want to inspect this thing, make sure I'm on there good, or should I be centered better than that?
All right, good.
All right, so go in, go out, go in, go out.
Screw it. Now, some people just ream it all the way out. Now, say, are you going to hit here? A little juice in there.
Spray a little juice in there. Where's my juice?
I don't know, too. I mean, spray it on tap. Put the tap.
Spray it on tap.
Put the tap in there. Get it started just a little bit since you got some in there, and then just spray it a little bit. You good?
All right. It feels pretty good.
Tap do the work.
So I'm not pushing.
Not hard. I mean, you need to hold it up there, but so go like half a turn, back up a little bit.
I'm gonna get it started and then back up a little bit. I think it's just got that taper that's starting in there now, right? It's not really cutting threads, right?
Allegedly.
Don't feel like it's done anything yet.
It's going in.
So in other words, you like that so far?
Yeah, that's good. Especially if you
Pull it out now?
No, well, just crack it back. All right. Now go back in. So screw it in a half a turn, back out, just back a little bit, just so you break the chips off.
So apparently there are a lot of things that can go wrong when you're putting helicoils thread repair kits in. You can drill it wrong. You can tear up the threads if you're not careful. Going straight in consistently and clearing the chips consistently apparently is a thing. I'm really glad that I had a coach there beside me to keep me from screwing up and make sure that I was doing it right. And here I'm actually had to take one side of the tool off, the wrench off, to be able to clear the frame.
What the heck? Why'd you tighten it so much?
Because it's my first time tapping a hole.
It happens.
Let's see, go all the way. I talk a lot about wrenching with other guys, not only for the value that it brings, knowledge, an extra set of hands, an extra set of eyeballs to keep you out of trouble. I talk a lot about it because not only does it bring another element to wrenching on bikes, but it makes things easier, makes it more enjoyable. Look at what happens. All right, that's a lot of freaking aluminum chips in there, man. But that's okay, right? All right, here it comes. In fact, let's protect the world from oh, that could have been ugly. Yeah, so what do I do when I screw this up again?
Back up and pump.
Who do I call? Because this has got a lot of tension on it. I think this tool was designed to stick directly into the hole, and I did not have access into the hole. I just had access into the frame here, so it didn't turn out to work very well.
Take it all the way out. Take it all, unscrew the whole thing, and then take that outer piece off, put that one back in there, and screw it back in.
I like that idea.
See, 'cause I mean, it's trying to start, right?
I believe it is.
Where's your tap? Where's your tap wrench?
Right here.
Put it on there. Don't push it hard, man.
Shit, I forgot about that.
You need to let it catch itself.
All right, I think it's threading in there now. Damn, son. This might actually work. It's almost in there, baby.
Don't screw it in too far, man.
Yep. Kind of hard to tell where the threads are because I can't see over here either.
Spacer. Can you unscrew that and then screw your spacer out a little bit, maybe?
I'm sure I can.
Well, try that, because the one I saw, he got his camera in here like this and was showing the helicoil at the spacer because he had the spacer unscrewed.
So it's coming out. So let's. Yeah, I don't think we're close to. Yeah, it's still just on the other side of that nut. So let's keep going. If we can get back in there. This is unnerving.
Is it because it's going too good?
I don't know what it is. I'm fearing the results of failure. I don't know what they are. I don't know how to assess the situation here. You want to go in here?
Sure.
We got enough bolt. I don't know what I'm so damn worried about.
I mean, I would rather screw it in too far than not far enough, but here's the thing. You don't want to screw it in so far that you can't break that little tip off the end of it either.
So it feels like it just bottomed out, or it just hit something it didn't like.
Now it's also going to start getting tighter because you're going to get to where your tap, where the tape, you're going to get to where the taper part of the tap was.
Let's see what we got here.
Put the camera in there and look at it.
Yeah, it's past the head. So here's the critical part. How's this mother gonna like this? Ooh, it really likes that. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, I know, remember, you still got that tail on the back of it.
I still got the what?
Yeah, tail on the back of it.
Yeah, so I need to go through that. So, that's like a punch.
Yeah, just, I mean, hell, you can use the handle of that wrench. How much room does it look like you have between?
Here, I want you to look at it.
Oh, God.
I want you to take some responsibility for this screw up we're about to have.
Factory default crap.
Here. Oh yeah, you got plenty of room back there still. Should I keep going?
No, I think.
Break it off?
So here's my thing. Just take that and go.
Not even hit it with a hammer?
I don't know. I don't think you have to.
Then I go in there with the magnet and pull the... There's plenty of material behind it, so... I don't think I...
Ready?
Yep. I think that did it. What do you think?
I don't know.
Magnet.
That's too damn big.
It is too damn big, ain't it? You can put something on there that's... How about that? Yeah. Is it not magnetic?
I don't know. I'm going to make it more magnetic to do this a little bit.
Oh.
There's the magic flashlight.
Flashlight is right there. We can do the air thing if we make sure we catch it. Do that. Blow it out. Try to blow it out.
Oh man, I don't know that it broke it off.
Here, let's
pushed it back. I think you got enough room in there. Run the bolt in there and let it fucking go. I think it'll be all right.
I think we got plenty of room. Yeah. Let's see what we got. And you know we still got all of this fucker to go through too. So.
I don't want to go any further. I think we're gonna be good, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at it. Look at it.
Yeah. It's like a real bolt.
It don't even wobble that much.
Wow. Crazy.
I don't think we rubbed some of your paint off, bro.
Now, so one other thing, you wanna safety wire it?
Got drill a hole in it, don't we?
Not only is this the first time I've used a helicoil or drilled a hole in a block, a head, anything like that, this is also the first time I have actually drilled a hole in a bolt to safety wire it. And I read a lot of stuff about not using any kind of thread locking compound because apparently it causes problems. So I decided all I need to do is make sure that the bolt doesn't turn. So why not drill a hole in it and put some wire through it and just safety wire it like they do on all the bolts on the track. You go to a track day or a race, anything like that, they require you to safety wire your bolts and nuts. Once we got a hole drilled in the bolt, it was time to start putting the crash bars back on the motorcycle to allow me to put that big fat bolt with the hole in it back on the motorcycle and make sure that it was going to not only hold the crash bars on, but also hold the engine into the frame. It was very unnerving up until around this point, and it was a bit difficult to get the crash bars to align correctly, and I was struggling with it. Which here comes Luke to the rescue again. Sometimes you just need not only an extra hand, but a maybe some extra techniques, and he wound up using his favorite tool, mechanical advantage, and in the form of just a little small hammer, prying that thing back up into place. And I might have gotten it without him, but I also might have stripped out those bolts. And here I am finally threading that bolt in for the first time. Very unnerving. I'm telling you, you just don't know. Um, I mean, it's the head of your motorcycle.
55.
Boom!
One more time. One more again. Hey!
Hey!
Give me my damn wrench back.
If I'm being honest about wrenching with other guys, there are some downsides. One that I can think of that keeps coming up in my mind is the distraction. If you're being distracted by your buddies that you're wrenching with, that might be a bad thing. But you could also show up just to distract them, which is always fun. But I think for the most part, everything turns out okay. If you've got another set of eyeballs, even when you're distracted, it makes things go better because I have caught people doing the wrong thing while they're distracted. Maybe they're entertaining me or somebody else or just having fun. A lot of times beer goes along with wrench garage nights, wrenching in the garage with your buddies. A lot of times things get out of hand a little bit, so it's good to have somebody there keeping an eye on things, making sure that the process is done correctly, and it doesn't always go the smooth way that it should. But overall, I would say you're going to have a big advantage, especially if you're not really good at wrenching or if you don't like wrenching. Um, I enjoy it, but it just always seems like it's so much more enjoyable with a buddy hanging out there with you, especially if they have more skills, more talent than you do, which is almost always the case with me. Why would you invite somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing? But with that said, that's the best way to learn is going and hanging out with people that know more than you do, and things that you can learn. And a lot of times it's like I don't have the tools, I don't have the know-how. I just show up at my buddy's house. He's got the tools, he's got the know-how, he's got an extra set of hands and eyeballs, all the things that you need to be able to do the things that are going to get you back on the road faster and more reliably. And at least you got two people signing off, maybe two or three people signing off on work that you've done, and make sure that you're going to get down the road and not screw up like so many people do when they're working on their bikes. And sometimes screwing up has a big cost to it. So I highly recommend you hanging out with your bros, doing all your work on your motorcycle yourself instead of having to pay somebody 10 times what it's going to cost you to do it. So despite the world's best efforts, it looks like I'm actually gonna make it out of here. As long as I get my new leg socket straightened out, I'm very hopeful and very excited now that my bike is out of motorcycle prison. Golly, seemed like it was down there for a month. Unbelievable. Anyway,